Yeah, welcome back. As you see there, we've got Bariatu Mohammed, Head of Service of Kaduna State, joining us this morning to weigh in on what is going on. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. Well, if you, as the NLC president did say there, he was categorically saying the state government did not obey Section 40 of the Labour Act, wherein they were supposed to have informed the union of the scope of redundancy and what they were going to do. Clearly, part of the reasons why they are not happy. So could you respond to that? Is that the case?
Good morning. Thank you very much. Just to clarify that Kaduna State never declared redundancy. What Kaduna State did and is still doing is verifying records of civil servants. In the process of verifying the records, we discovered some issues that we wanted to clarify. And we also drew the attention of, we did a sensitization exercise at that time. And we said we were going to do this exercise, and that anybody who fell between, who had these qualifications, like primary school certificates, secondary school certificates, and so on, that we were going to disengage them. So we did not declare redundancy.
Oh,
and we engaged traditional.
Yeah, go ahead.
We engaged traditional leaders, the unions, at that time. That is at that time. I think he's talking about the disengagement that took place in 2017.
So at the moment,
yes.
So at the moment, the 2,000 local government staff, the primary school workers, the 1,700 primary healthcare workers, the state workers, all of these who were disengaged, is that part of the verification? They didn't have all of those documents you required?
Yes. While doing the verification exercise, we realized that there were still people, when we did the exercise in 2017, we gave 2 years for officers who were still young and who lacked the minimum qualification that we wanted in the civil service to go and obtain a minimum of a national diploma. And we provided, we engaged the unions, and we provided all the guidelines and everything. So now we are doing the verification exercise again, and we realized that there were still people who did not take the opportunity to obtain the minimum qualification. That's a diploma. And that is what is required for entry into the civil service of Kaduna State Police.
But Labour is saying that part of those the state disengaged included nannies, cleaners, hospital attendants, watchmen, that those ones don't require diploma certificates to function.
Now, even before this administration came into power, during the administration of Makarfi, he had already outsourced cleaners and messengers and so on. We had companies that were, and even security men, we had companies that were engaged to provide such services. And when this administration came, it continued. So there is no way that the Kaduna State government will pay for outsourced cadres and still pay the companies that were doing the services.
So what is the current situation with that now? Because Labour is insisting that the state government disengaged them.
The Kaduna State Civil Service has not determined how many people will be disengaged, of course. But as I said earlier, these cadres had been outsourced even before this administration came into power.
So, Madam, just to be clear, is there a plan from the verification exercise you're talking about? Is there a plan by the Kaduna State government to sack workers?
Yes, there is a plan. But it depends on the position that we find these staff. As I said, we gave them more than 3 years a notice to obtain the minimum qualification required for entry into the Kaduna State Civil Service.
But you're also aware that Kaduna State is, like every state in Nigeria, part of the state's responsible entities or institutions responsible for ensuring that there is employment, because already we have a very serious unemployment situation on our hands. So with that in mind, do you think, people will be questioning the timing of this exercise by the Kaduna State government?
Well, you see, at the time that we have right now, I think Kaduna State is one of the few states that is engaging staff. Right now, we have finished processes to engage 7,600 teachers of secondary school. We have engaged health staff that are just being paid. We have done a recruitment exercise in KASU, in College of Education, Gidanwaya, and in the State Polytechnic. That's all our tertiary institutions.
Well, Madam, it's a little confusing. If you could kindly shed some light. So on the one hand, there is a plan to disengage. On the other hand, there is a plan to engage. Help us understand.
Well, the plan is to right size. You know, when this administration came into power, we did an exercise with all the ministries, departments, and the staff. We realized that some agencies were over-established. So we agreed that this is the number of staff that would require in this ministry, in that agency. It was an engagement that we did early in 2015. So then we realized while we were doing this process of verification, we realized that there were people who we didn't require in the civil service who were still on. Now, let me give you an example. On Easter Day, I went to my hometown for a wedding. And behold, some health staff were waiting for me. And the first person said to me that a colleague of his who was on duty, she could not come to see me, had a sister who was working in a facility, in a hospital. And when her sister died, she assumed the name of the sister. Now, while we were doing the verification exercise, she realized that she forgot to change her primary school certificate to that of her sister, who had died. And that during the verification exercise, the staff realized that they asked questions, of course, and she is scared that her salary would be stopped. So she came to seek for my assistance. Can you imagine? I said to the man who she sent, that first of all, she has denied her sister's children from accessing the death benefits of her sister. And secondly, that all the salary that she has collected from the Kaduna State government for over 7 years is illegal, and that there is no way that we would allow her to continue receiving such salary. And I told her that she would be dismissed and she will be expected to pay the salary back to the Kaduna State Civil Service. We cannot afford to pay people who do not exist. Now, while still doing the verification exercise, the chief executive of MDAs had to do physical verification. And in the process, they realized that in their MDAs, they were paying salaries of staff that they did not know. And in the process also, they could not even recognize some of the staff that came to do verification. And when they were asked questions, they couldn't give any tangible reasons. So it means all along, we were paying staff who were not existing, who were not even coming to the office. And while in my office, while we were doing the exercise for executive officers, somebody amongst us recognized someone whom she knew had a very big shop in the market, and he was selling things. He never came to the office. We never knew he was our staff until we did that physical verification. Now, I'm sure you will agree with me that we cannot allow this thing to continue. it is not right and we must stop it. So that is why we are doing this verification exercise. Kaduna State is determined to do it, to right the wrongs. That is why we call it right sizing. And
in other words,
we have already engaged, we are putting on a portal whereby people who feel they have been disengaged while they have the required qualifications can upload their certificates, and we will address it. We have suspicious certificates that we feel are fake. So we are liaising with the universities and polytechnics and other institutions to ensure that such certificates presented are not fake.
well, now you say that this is a right sizing, disengaging staff who should not be there, perhaps ghost workers, but Labour says, no, you are sacking people, even people who are supposed to be qualified and working. So is this a combination of trying to let the appropriate people work, or you are equally sacking people who you think, well, yes, you should be here, but we can't afford to pay a bloated civil service, so we need to sack people notwithstanding?
No. We are disengaging unsuitable people to recruit staff to strengthen our education and health sector. That's what it is. And how come it is the Labour that is talking? I mean, at the national level. Why not at the state level?
Well, the Labour...
How is it that we have not been able, our staff are still there, they are not going on strike, we don't have any threat. Now, in 2017...
Yeah, what difference does it make? What difference does it make if Labour at the national level and at state level speak? What's the difference?
Okay, I'll tell you why I said that. In 2017, the same, at the national level, we were invited to the office of the Minister of Labour. The governor was there, I was there, and all our stakeholders. We attended, and the Labour, the union wanted to go on strike. They accused of so many things. But at the time, after engaging the minister, we told the minister that the unions had participated in the exercise. The verification of the exams that we did, the competency test that we did on the primary school teachers, they even supervised. They supervised. And we gave him a copy of minutes of meeting that we held. We held several meetings before we did the exercise. And all of a sudden, we were surprised that we were told that we didn't engage and that we were doing illegal things. And that is why, because of course they found out it's not true. The minister found out that whatever the NLC said was not true. That is why the Kaduna State civil servants never went on strike, and the process continued.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you suggesting? Let me just put this in. Are you suggesting that? Just a moment.
Kaduna State was the first.
Just hang on before you move on to the next point. Are you suggesting that the
pension to 30,000 naira?
Just hold on before you get to that point. Before you get to that next point, are you suggesting that the leadership? Can you hold on a minute? Let's put in this question so that you could respond to it. You make that point subsequently. Are you suggesting that the leadership of Labour at the state level, headed by Comrade Ayuba Magaji, does support the exercise going on in Kaduna State right now?
They have not complained. We don't have any. What they did is to respond to a fake letter that has been going around since 2019.
Okay.
A fake letter that was alleged to have been signed by the PPS. We have denied that letter. Kaduna State no longer pays casual staff. We have since stopped it. Everything that's in that letter is fake. The governor has denied it. All the stakeholders, I have denied several times. We have issued press statements on our social media handles and everywhere else. So I was disappointed when the national level of the NLC responded to a fake letter. The national level should have confronted us to confirm whether such letter is true or not. It is the same letter that was issued in 2019 by of course, opponents, probably, just in an attempt to stop.
There are statements credited to the leadership of Labour Kaduna in the media saying that they do not support what is going on. Is it that those are fake as well?
The letter is fake. They are responding to a fake letter.
All right.
That's yes.
The matter you referred to in 2017, where 21,771 primary school teachers, 5,000 local government workers, and 4,000 state workers were disengaged without entitlement. Does it mean that all of them were illegal workers?
No. We did a competency test for primary school teachers, and those who failed, who had less than 75%, were disengaged, because we applied a primary 4 exam to the teachers, and most of them failed. And when we disengaged the 21,000 and so on, we engaged 25,000 teachers.
Madam,
we engaged 25,000 teachers. We didn't know that there were teachers in private schools who were earning 5,000 naira as monthly emolument until we did that exercise. We received commendation from people. We received letters, emails, text messages saying that it was the best that we did. In fact, even at the time that we were having problems, many people offered to teach voluntarily before we finished the recruitment exercise.
Yeah, so all of these people who were sacked in 2017, none of them were entitled to their payoff packages, because they say you didn't pay any one of them.
No, that's not true. Now, when we came in, we had the gratuities and death benefits had not been paid since 2010. We computed the debts to about 14 billion naira. So the State Executive Council decided that instead of paying from 2015, it is better to pay all the debts, to settle all the debts that we met. And so far, we have paid over 13 billion in gratuities and death benefits. And we introduced the contributory pension scheme we started implementing the contributory pension scheme in 2017. We were one of the states that had the that was commended for complying to the provisions of the contributory pension scheme. We were making our contributions as required, and we didn't have problems with that. And we are still paying.
Just give us a moment. We'll go to break, and we'll let you conclude your thoughts when we return in a moment. Please stay with us.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, madam, it is curious that some of the people, from the information that my colleague has given in the questions that he's asked you, include local government workers. The assumption in the Constitution is that local governments are independent of states and shouldn't they be the ones taking care of their own welfare and all of that, as opposed to the state government sacking local government workers?
The state government did not sack local government workers. The state government, the local governments are not able to pay salary.
But the information, available in the social media, in the media, not social media, available all over the place, is that, for instance, more than 80 staff of the Jama'ah local government area secretariat in Kafanchan in Kaduna have been retrenched, and that they received their letters of disengagement from the state government. As I said,
yes, I said earlier that the Kaduna state government is disengaging unsuitable staff to recruit due to the physical pressure. But we are still recruiting to strengthen the education and health sector.
Of
I have also said
of local government staff, not state government, madam. Local government staff. That's the question.
It is yes. The local government, even the local government, wouldn't have. We cannot. We did not engage. The state did not engage local government staff.
So why is it the local government? So why is it the state government that is sacking them?
There is a unified local government service. It is a unified local government service. And the state.
But they have local government chairmen, they have their own administrations as well.
Yes, they have a commission which is responsible for employment, promotion, discipline, and disengagement. It is that commission that is doing the exercise, not the state.
Well, that sounds kind of contradictory because
that we have a portal. We are putting on a portal whereby anybody who feels they are disengaged, they have we are not fair to them, they can go ahead and upload their certificates on the portal, and we'll do the needful to see that they are to provide for them.
And besides, the state government.
Now, let me remind you, please. Yeah, I just want you to take this into consideration. Kaduna State has welfare of civil servants, most of all. We are the first state to commence the payment of the, we were already ready to raise the minimum wage when we had to wait for this, the federal government to do the engagement and,
Are you paying the minimum wage now?
And immediately it was approved. We were the first to pay. We started paying in September 2019 and we have not stopped till date.
But the officials there tell us that the Ministry of Local Government...
We had
on that same local government matter, just a minute, madam. The Ministry for Local Government is reverting to 18,000 naira, not 30,000 naira.
We approved a 2% state revenue for staff.
Just a minute, madam. Can you respond to that directly? The Ministry for Local Government...
We sold government...
I know you can hear the question. Could you respond to the question? The Ministry for Local Government...
We raised the maternity leave 6 months. 6 months.
Are you avoiding the question, madam?
Pardon?
Okay, I thought you were avoiding the question. The Ministry for Local Government is paying 18,000 naira, not 30,000 naira as the minimum wage law stipulates. This is what they have told us.
Now, okay.
This was as at yesterday.
It is not true. I can assure you that. It is
How much are they receiving then? Well, because they say they are reverting. They are reverting to 18,000 naira. They tell us that authoritatively.
Authoritative? I don't understand.
How much are they reverting to?
30,000. They paid 30,000 minimum wage.
Okay, we'll take that up with them because they say that, contrary to what has been said, that is what they are reverting to at the moment. And then the state equally said that the local government is bloated and that they do not have the resources to pay. But they also point out that how can that be? Because FAC allocation for the state, they say there's some 4.8 billion naira that is received, and the state government equally has IGR in that same region of 4.8 billion naira. And then there's internal grants from Ecological Fund. There's external grants, COVID-19 intervention from those several foundations and other financial for the state. So they wonder, how can the state say they don't have funds to pay this?
Well, the state, apart from paying salaries, has other responsibilities. I'm sure you'll agree with me. And I wish, I don't know if you have been to Kaduna before this administration came into power, but I wish you would come to Kaduna these days and see what is happening. We have renovated our primary healthcare agency units and facilities. We are equipping them. We have renovated and equipped our BATCs, and these we feel will provide skills for majority of the people in Kaduna State. the youth, particularly, because when we did the last census, showed that we had more youth than old people in Kaduna State. So, and because Kaduna State and the local governments cannot engage them and provide salary for all of them, that is why we are doing everything in our power to see that we provide skills, that they acquire skills to be able to do, to open up small businesses. And even before the central bank and other things started giving out loans, we give loans to our civil servants. We have a microcredit loan facility that we give to civil servants. We have the renovation, the state government guaranteed the renovation loan of a minimum of 500,000 naira for civil servants.
All right, then we need to anchor at that point. We need to anchor at that point. We do get your point, but thank you very much indeed for talking to us this morning. Bariatu Mohammed is the head of service for Kaduna State.